Duke Case is a great little business making vintage custom sound systems in Melbourne. But now, with the shop running at capacity, they need to find some funds for expansion. To help get the ball rolling, Australian crowdfunding expert Alan Crabbe dropped by to share his tips.
Tell me about Duke Case and how you get started.
Duke Case started with me and my business partner, or friend then, high school friend Vincent. We just wanted good quality portable stereo that we could take to the park, and we decided to make one. And then friends saw it and they asked what it was and wanted one themselves. And then friends of friends, and a year ago we opened a shop here, and here we are today.
How did you raise the initial capital to get things off the ground?
There was originally a stage where my business partner Vinny did invest a little bit of his own money, obviously to buy a few parts. I think we might have bought 5 or 10 to begin with. And so from there, yeah, it's sort of been a very self-invested business.
Yeah. So where are you now with Duke Case?
We've almost hit, I guess, maximum capacity of what we're capable of doing as 2 people with this shop. Having them all one-off pieces and customisable, it's a very time-consuming process. There's not huge margins with that. So our next step, I guess, has been thinking about creating a standardised product that embodies all of our values.
What's stopping you getting the standardised model out there?
Funding, really. With the standardised model, I guess we need to have the funds initially so that we have, I guess, the stock on hand that we can then distribute to retailers, stores.
What options have you looked at raising the funds to make this thing happen?
One of the most viable options, I guess, that we've come across so far is crowdfunding.
Awesome idea, yeah.
Yeah, it would be good to get a bit of help investigating the crowdfunding aspect a little bit in more depth.
So, like, we have seen thousands and thousands of campaigns use Pozible over the last few years. The first thing that we look at when it comes to a pitch on Pozible is we look at the pitch video and the description of how they're, I suppose, selling and or creating a compelling pitch to engage people.
What's the length of the average pitch video?
We don't recommend any more than 90 seconds.
Yeah.
People don't spend any time on videos. If you can get someone watching a 90-second pitch, you've got a good pitch. So that's the first and one of the key success factors of using crowdfunding.
After the break, Alan reveals his recipe for a successful campaign. The guys at Duke Case have worked hard to establish their new business making vintage suitcase speakers. Now they're ready to grow and are looking to crowdfund the capital to expand. Let's get Pozible founder Alan Crabbe's tips for their campaign.
You need to find ways that people are going to talk about your project. Social media has been pivotal in the success of crowdfunding. So understanding how people share and what people share, and even doing some research on just word-of-mouth marketing and actually generating buzz. The other element is the rewards element. So the exponential growth of crowdfunding has been led by the reward-based model, getting an incentive in return for the funds that you pledge to the project. You can set up tiered rewards. And my advice, especially with products that we have seen through crowdfunding, is to look after the people that get in early. As a business owner, you understand the value of your first customers and the first people that talk about your project. Use your rewards as a mechanism actually to actually get these people on board early, reward them, and actually get them talking about your project.
How do you go about setting your rewards then? So I was thinking an exclusive playlist made by a musician friend of ours.
The benefit of actually with experienced rewards is that there's no perceived value or price point for rewards of these types. So if you can engage an artist or musician, all of these things I see are great ways to actually create PR around what you're doing.
One of the biggest questions I have with crowdfunding is when you're setting your goal initially, is it better to start off with a smaller target?
The target is a question that's always quite open to change with some projects that we've seen. My advice is to keep it to the very minimum of what you need to make this thing happen and be very transparent about it. With crowdfunding, it's all about getting early momentum for a project. So in my opinion, the 30% of your target is a benchmark that you set to achieve as early as you can. Out of the people that do reach that 30% target, 95% of them actually go on and successfully reach their target by the deadline. So in summary, really, create a compelling video, keep it fun. You're in the music industry. Use your project description as a way of answering anybody's questions. Keep it visual, using photographs. Build the imagery for your brand. Use your rewards, make them quirky, make them interesting. Make them unique the same way as your products. And don't set too ambitious of targets. Set the minimum you need to make it happen.
Thank you very much for all your help today.
Thanks for sharing your story, yeah.